Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluent Personality. I'm Girish.
And I'm Sangeeta. It's great to have you with us again. Today we're diving into a topic that's pretty universal, wouldn't you say, Girish? Something everyone has in some form or another.
Absolutely, Sangeeta. We're talking about family. It's such a fundamental part of our lives, and naturally, it's one of the first things you'll talk about when you meet someone new, especially when you're trying to build deeper connections in English.
Exactly. Whether you have a huge extended family or a very small, close knit immediate family, knowing how to describe them and your relationship with them is key to sounding natural and confident in English. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah, let's start with the basics. Immediate family. Who does that usually include, Sangeeta?
Well, your immediate family typically refers to your parents, your mother and father, and your siblings, meaning your brothers and sisters. If you're married, it also includes your spouse, your husband or wife, and your children if you have any.
Right. So, for example, I could say I live with my parents and my younger brother, or my wife and I have two kids, a son and a daughter. Pretty straightforward, right?
Exactly. And remember, we often use more informal terms too. Instead of mother and father, we commonly say mom and dad. For children, you'll hear kids a lot. Siblings is a bit more formal. Usually, people just say brothers and sisters.
Good point. I call my mom and dad ma and pa sometimes, which is a mix of English and my native language. It's funny how personal family terms can be, even across languages.
It really is. And when talking about siblings, you might say older brother or younger sister. Sometimes people say elder brother or younger sister, but older and younger are probably more common these days.
Yeah, I tend to use older and younger, so I have an older sister and a younger brother. We had typical sibling rivalries growing up.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm an only child, so I always wondered what that was like. Was it like fighting over the TV remote or more serious stuff?
Both, honestly. Sometimes it was just silly stuff, like who got the last piece of cake. Other times it was more about getting attention from our parents. But we're all very close now, which is nice.
That's lovely. It's interesting how those dynamics change as you get older. For me, being an only child meant a lot of attention, but sometimes I wished I had someone to share secrets with or just cause trouble with. No sibling to blame.
Haha, I can imagine. Okay, so that's immediate family covered. Now let's expand a bit. What about extended family? This is where it gets a little more complex, right?
Definitely. Extended family includes your grandparents, your grandmother and grandfather, or grandma and grandpa for short. Then you have your parents' siblings, your aunts and uncles, and their children are your cousins.
Right, so my mother's sister is my aunt, and her husband is my uncle, and their kids are my cousins. Got it. What about my sister's kids?
Ah, that's a good one. Your sister's son is your nephew, and her daughter is your niece. Similarly, your brother's children would also be your nephews and nieces.
Nephew and niece. Those words can be a bit tricky for learners, so it's good to practice them. My sister has two kids, a nephew and a niece, and they are adorable, honestly.
Oh, that's sweet. It's lovely to see new generations come into the family. And speaking of family, once you get married, you gain a whole new set of relatives, your in laws.
Oh, the in laws. This is a big one. So, my wife's parents are my mother in law and father in law. Her brother is my brother in law, and her sister is my sister in law, and vice versa for her with my family.
Exactly. It's pretty consistent, you just add in law to the existing family term. And this is where family gatherings can get really big, especially during holidays or special occasions. Do you have big family get togethers, Girish?
We do, especially during festivals. My family is quite large, with many aunts, uncles, and cousins. It's always a bit chaotic but full of laughter and good food. Everyone brings a dish, and we just spend hours catching up. What about yours, Sangeeta?
Being an only child, my immediate family is small, but my extended family is quite big on my mom's side. We usually have a big reunion every few years. It's fun to see cousins I haven't seen in ages, and just remember all the silly things we did as kids.
Yeah, those memories are the best. It's amazing how family can be such a strong anchor in life. So, beyond just naming family members, it's also important to be able to describe your relationships with them, right? What kind of vocabulary can we use there?
Great question. This is where you can add a lot of personality to your descriptions. For example, you can talk about if you have a close relationship with someone, or maybe you're not very close to a particular distant relative.
Right, you could say, I'm very close to my grandmother, she taught me how to cook, or I don't see my uncle often but we get along well when we do.
Perfect examples. You might also look up to someone, meaning you admire them, or perhaps you take after a family member, meaning you resemble them in appearance or personality. Like, I take after my dad, we both have a terrible sense of direction.
Haha, I definitely take after my mom when it comes to being organized. Thankfully, my dad, bless his heart, is a bit more free spirited. It's a nice way to talk about inherited traits too.
Exactly. And you can describe the general atmosphere of your family. Is it a close knit family, meaning everyone is very connected and supportive? Or perhaps you might have a more independent family, where everyone lives their own life but still cares for each other.
Or even, dare I say, a dysfunctional family. Sometimes families have their issues, and that's okay to acknowledge, even in a light-hearted way. It's part of life, right?
Absolutely. It makes for interesting stories too. But seriously, talking about families isn't always about perfect relationships. It's about being able to express the reality of your situation. You could say, we have our ups and downs, but we always stick together.
That's a very honest and real way to put it. What about adjectives to describe individual family members, Sangeeta? Because everyone is unique.
Oh, there are so many. You could say your mother is supportive and caring, your father might be strict but loving, your brother could be funny and outgoing, while your sister is quiet and thoughtful. These are all great adjectives to expand your descriptive vocabulary.
My grandmother is definitely wise and patient. She has this calm demeanor that just makes you feel at ease. And my grandfather was incredibly adventurous, always telling us stories about his travels.
Those are wonderful descriptions, Girish. It's so much more engaging than just saying this is my grandma. It paints a picture, and that's what we want our listeners to be able to do. To paint vivid pictures with their words.
Precisely. And when you're learning, don't be afraid to ask others about their families. It's a fantastic way to practice. Simple questions like, do you have any siblings? Or, what do your parents do? Can open up a whole conversation.
Exactly. Or, are you close to your cousins, or do you have big family gatherings for holidays? People usually love talking about their families, so it's a great icebreaker. Just be mindful not to pry too much if someone seems uncomfortable.
Good advice. Remember, it's about connecting. A phrase I like is, we have a lot in common if you share hobbies or interests with a family member. Or, we spend a lot of time together if you're a very involved family.
Yes, spend time with is so common. I love spending time with my nieces and nephews on the weekends, or my parents and I try to have dinner together every Sunday. These are natural, everyday phrases.
Another thing to think about is the concept of family values. Different families emphasize different things like honesty, hard work, education, or tradition. You could say, my family really values education, so getting good grades was always important.
That's a deeper level of conversation, which is fantastic for advanced learners. It shows you can discuss more abstract concepts related to family, not just the names. For me, my family emphasized independence and critical thinking. We were always encouraged to ask why.
That's brilliant. It really shapes who you become, doesn't it? Our families are our first teachers in so many ways, and being able to articulate that in English is incredibly powerful.
It truly is. So, to recap for our listeners, we've covered immediate family, mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, son, daughter, And then extended family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, and your in laws.
And we also talked about phrases and adjectives to describe relationships and personalities. Close knit, supportive, take after, look up to, spend time with. The list goes on, but these are solid starting points.
Our challenge for you this week is to think about your own family. Try to write down a few sentences describing each member, using some of the vocabulary we've discussed today. The more you practice, the more natural it will become.
Absolutely. Don't just listen, actively try to use these words and phrases. Talk to yourself in the mirror, or even better, find a language partner and share stories about your families. It's a wonderful way to connect and learn.
That's all for today's episode of Fluent Personality. We hope this has given you the confidence to talk about your family with ease and fluency. Remember, every little bit of practice makes a huge difference.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more English learning content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. We'll see you next time.
Bye for now, everyone. Keep practicing and keep speaking English with personality.